We should be back, I think. Neato. Man, this is really killing my stream setup because my setup does not handle this transition well. So I'm gonna miss a ton of chat if this keeps happening. I do detect a hint of more yellowish tone in here, you know? God bless that one painting video that I posted a while ago. It was from a channel called, I think, Dromix Paint. It might be from Dromix Paint. Maybe it's not. But it's a video about how to choose any color, how to get or sample any color from like reality. So without color picking it, and it was just a great video on the subject. And I feel like every time I pick a good color, it's mostly coming from that video's information. I'm gonna pick a good like neutral color for the face. I don't think I'm gonna be painting it with this brush. I'm gonna be completely honest. I want a bit more granularity at the edge. Let's just choose this. That seems a little bit better. So again, my major focus right now is to try and delineate the form, if I can find the form. Try and get the majority value in there, and then we paint on top of that as a very solid basis. You can almost think about this as maybe the underpainting stage. So I'm really focused on trying to get these forms right. Everybody has their own little process. This one's mine. And it's always subject to change, it seems like. Always subject to change. I want to include this little reflection at the very beginning because it's the kind of thing that it's very easy to put in right now, but later on it's going to become so much harder because I'm going to have to navigate around so much detail. So I just think it's a good lay-in step to do this at the beginning. Let's figure out where these lines go, if all possible. There we go. Let's figure out some information over there, and we know we have that lovely rim light over there we can add in. Let's just add that rim light in right now so I can have a notion, because when I'm trying to define these early stages, you can do so using one of two methods. You can either define things using occlusion. Occlusion is the areas of extreme darkness, or you can do so using rim lights, extreme brightness, just lights in general. So the way you kind of navigate this blobbiness of the picture is kind of up to you, I feel like. I think everybody has their own little method of doing it. I like looking for these as my landmarks. We'll use the separation of light and dark to do this. What that means is they look at where the light kind of stops and the shadow begins, and then they get a line from that basically, and they use that as a basis for their piece. That's not a neat idea. I have tried doing that, not to the greatest amount of success, so definitely there are multiple ways of doing this. Again, I'm just painting this with a very rudimentary notion of value. So I'm not really painting anything in the sense of making it final. I'm just trying to set things up for later on, because right now we're not trying to like define one area and then define another area and define another area. This is not what we're trying to do. Also, thank you for the follow, by the way, there on. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to just set the piece up for success. I think I'm gonna sample a background value here just to add a bit more cohesion. And this value seems a little bit less cool in my eyes, so I'm going to shift the value a little bit. That seems a little bit more correct. I'm just reading warmness and coolness by eye and thinking, does that look right, does that not look right? Now I can make some pretty general selections, I feel like, and then get the rest of the face out of the way. Selection is a wonderful tool, one that I definitely fancy because I can see shape relatively better than I can see outlines and peripheries and all that good stuff. So when I can paint a shape, I generally do paint a shape. So I found the shape of the face there, and I'm going to invert the selection, and I'm going to just paint around it now. Not really caring too much about that, the protruding two hands. I'll paint that in later. It is, after all, coming out on top of all of these ideas, so I don't need to paint them right this second. It's fine. Another great artist who draws a lot of monsters. I like how he uses detail to build in a depth of field. So, do you mean... I can't click it right now, but I will after I finish. But do you mean that he puts in more detail in the foreground elements or the focus elements and it kind of takes it back tremendously? You sneaky snake, inverting selections? Oh, it's such a good idea to do. Yeah, cool. I love that idea. I do like to see it because I'm a strong believer in not resolving everything on a canvas, man. not resolving, but not rendering. Like, I really don't like it when people... I mean, I respect it, man, I respect it, but I don't like it for my own artwork, I guess. Gotta choose my words carefully. Don't wanna shit on somebody's lifestyle. I will have to heavily simplify this piece, so I'll just start doing that right now. Why stand on ceremony here? You can just do it right now. Let's simplify Mr. Froggo's mouth. I should remember that this is actually like a frog mouth, so I can't just go crazy with the form. Like treating this like a hood, even though it looks like a hood, it's not a hood. The Froggo. I detect a hint more, almost like a purple, a desaturated purple down here. That's what I see, at least. I don't know if that's what's there, but that's what I see. And you gotta paint what you see. Froggo is like, ah. The frog part is very hard. Like a metal rock. I feel like I'll be able to navigate it somewhat easily. Maybe not in the time frame, but I'm not too like afraid of that, I don't think. Once you get that majority shape in, I think it's all down to like having interesting breaks in your selection here, because I can just make a selection right here, and a selection right here, and one right here as well. And I can break into that selection with Alt, this way, and then I'm going to put in a very bright value, because again, that's where the root of something looking slimy or like looking really, really, yeah, really reflective comes from, right? This was really strong reflective shadows. If I do that properly, I feel like I'll be able to get away with this whole idea. But I do think those are a lot softer, right? So maybe I can do that with a softer brush. I think I have the right notion. Maybe the application could be better. I do think it's a value problem. I think this sort of notion like kind of hits upon, even though it's like super ham-fisted. Like even that much is I think enough to kind of give you a hint at what's possible. And then once I do that, I can just break it apart with these values over here. Once I get those ideas, I can just reinforce them with a bit of form. Like this. Like when it's closed, you're ding off. It's quick info. The boss is carry for the first time. It also makes you think about why would someone ever create this thing, but after all, it's a pretty easy boss to beat. I see. But I sort of like this this way of rendering it. I think it's a successful approach to it. Because at the end of the day, also it's very cool for me to know. That's how I would do it. So now I can add this into my own pieces. You can be like, how do I make something look reflective? The answer is like, I simplify the form heavily and add in these ridiculous specular effects. But not like I would do with metal. It's not really how I do with metal, right? Metal I would do slightly differently. Like this highlight wouldn't be as like half-assertly done. Okay, let's continue. I don't usually do that much of a finish in a certain isolated area, but since we were talking about it, I wanted to know if I could do it. I feel like I can do it. Always good to do those isolated kind of ideas. So usually I do that before I start the piece, so not while I'm doing the piece. But that's LOV. It's fine. But yeah, I think somebody did say that it was a Dark Souls 2 boss, right? So what is the objective of Dark Souls 2? Where does that actually fit into the lore? Because I know something about the lore. I am by no means an expert, but I know a little bit about it, I feel like. So, like, where does it fit into the whole, like, Gwyn storyline, for example? Like, you fight Gwyn in the first game at the very end of it, correct? So, whereabouts does that even stand? Like, who is even the evil dude at the end of Dark Souls 2? Do you fight like Manus or somebody? Is Manus the bad guy? Like the person that created all the corruption or whatever, that corrupted like Artorias and things like that? Like I know bits and pieces, I don't know the full stories. Do forgive me. Definitely want to get these negative shapes in there. Just like so. Went for a little bit of time, sorry about that. I just want to look at these forms a little bit because I don't have the time to correct them later on. So basically what I choose right now I have to stick with. So as much as I would lapse with the commentary. There's some reference to DS1, but the game doesn't seem very connected. Different team went into making Really? The main DS1 team made Bloodborne? No kidding. Bloodborne is... I would argue I like Bloodborne more than I like the Souls, but I think it's because Bloodborne is more of a self-contained story. If you can even call it that. If you can call any of these games a self-contained story, because it's just so much ambiguousness, right? I feel like if there's one thing I really respect about the way these games are made, is that how they disseminate the plot information. Like, you could maybe go through the entire game and miss like almost everything if you weren't paying attention. And I like that model. Like, you can just enjoy them for being super good games, but they got this crazy lore right there for you if you're interested in delving into it, which is great. I think that's great design. I do think the shadows are a lot warmer. I think they go a little bit warmer. I'm super tempted to get a grayscale copy so I can do more studies without having to prepare the paper. Do it, man. There's so many good resources for people that paint with grayscale Copics as well. Like, I know Artgerm does it. I know that Crease does it to a certain extent. Doesn't Crease use grayscale Copics? I know Kennedy does grayscale Copics as well. There are quite a few people that use it. I could be mistaken though. I'm not the best person to rely on for information about traditional tools. I may know a little bit about oil painting, but I'm not entirely sure. I can't profess to be paying too much attention to that aspect of the stream. Per usual, I will usually speak with confidence about the things that I know, but the things I don't know. Always a disclaimer. This one, ballpoints. I have an interesting relationship with ballpoints because I don't like expensive ballpoints. I'm a huge fan of very cheap ballpoints. But that's just because it's what I've used, right, all my life. I don't buy the good shit. I buy the discount really shitty ballpoints. That's what I use. So I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable using expensive ones. Don't seem fun to me. They don't seem. It's not even fun. It doesn't even seem functional to me. Some of them that I bought. Like, I want to be able to make really light strokes. And the thing with like cheap ball pens is they're really leaky. So you can make super light strokes the way that I do it, and I'm able to get a lot of strokes out of there, a lot of line weight out of there. But then I just don't get that with the more expensive ones. Okay, fine, I heard that. Evil Dude is a curse ammo, not really sure. Smooth big ones? I know exactly the one you're talking about, man. I know exactly the one you're talking about, the big ones. I'm gonna borrow a little bit from the Dark Valley over there. They feel good? They do feel good. I'm gonna change up this brush a little bit. Maybe I don't like the way that looks. Some of these brushes are just like the wrong kind of grainy, I feel like. Not the kind of grainy that I like. It's a little bit uncomfortably grainy. Not I'm the biggest fan of it. Also, I definitely should have done a value check on this piece because I can just blur my eyes, you know? Not the worst thing in the world. Those lights I put in are definitely too light. Tone those down a little bit more. There we go. Be a little bit more quicker. We want to be heading a little bit darker as we go down. Some notion like this. And I want to add in a cast shadow. Even though I don't see a clear cast shadow there, it's just going to help the form. Help the form read massively. And also develop a good little shadow shape over here. That'll behave. It needs to behave for the rest of the piece. Same thing over here. Just a nice little shadow shape that behaves. I need some of it to behave, otherwise the entire piece is going to fall to shit. I do want this to go a little bit greener though. I don't want it to head into that warm direction. I do want it to be a little bit more greener to kind of evoke this reflectiveness coming from the lake. These ones over here, yeah, these ones haven't been addressed yet. They'll be as bright as this at the end of the piece, most likely. But yeah, those haven't been addressed yet. But it's a good point to make. You're not wrong. It's very difficult to kind of like make that assessment anyway, right? Because you're not entirely sure like where I am in the piece. So I don't blame you for pointing that out. Because you don't know, is it resolved, is it not resolved? It's not that clear, so it's completely fair. Rotating isograph. What even is that? I'm assuming that's a pen. For you fancy rich people. In your ivory towers. No, when to point things out. Just point it out whenever. You know my stream rules, right? You know my stream rules. You know how I feel about these kind of things. It's all good. Whenever you feel the need. What is going on both sides of his head? Like, what is that? Oh, those are frog legs. I'm so stupid. I keep forgetting this is a frog. Like, what is that coming from both sides? That's well cool. Frog legs? Good idea of perspective, by the way, over here. It's so far back. Really sets the idea of the foreshortening. So the picture's actually a pretty good picture to paint. There's no weird shit going on. But sometimes perspective in real life can be very deceptive. Like, extremely deceptive. Like, it'll look in perspective in reality, but it just doesn't look in perspective outside reality, and it sucks ass to draw. Because when it comes to drawing things realistically, there's a certain suspension of like disbelief. When you see things in real life, because you think the things you see in real life are real. And that's a fair assessment, right? It's really fair. And sometimes that is betrayed by like optical illusion, for example. For the most part, things that are real are real. You can quote me on that one. So, when you try and paint something that is real but looks that is like inherently like unrealistic in its way, in the way that it manifests onto a picture, for example, that's like the most annoying thing in the world to paint, and it happens more often than you would think. Like you take a really good like a reference picture for example, and it's just you think it's very good, but it just isn't. Just a really weird picture. And it's gonna happen sometimes. It can really interfere, so it's upon the artist to like make modifications as per necessary to kind of make it look like a good painting at the end of the day. Burden's on you. Oh, dry texture creases. What would I do without you, my friend? Really hideous. His arms retract in. When his mouth closes and they pry the skin apart in the face. Oh my god, are you serious? That's fucked up. That's such good design, that's like a cool idea. You put me in the shape drawing, whatever. What's so good you can anything draw with your cool. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that's excluded for me. But I just paint super fundamentally, man. Like, you can apply fundamentals to anything and you'll be able to paint it. Metal needles, so no matter how light or heavy you press. Those are ones that use a felt tip so you can get variations. Okay, I get what you're saying. So it's similar to the whole, yeah, like you're saying just now, it's similar to the whole ballpoint situation. It's got good things and bad things to it. There's a bit more lightness here, I feel like. So basically when I'm checking my values right now, I don't have a value scheme. I didn't set one for this piece, so when I'm checking my values I just blur my eyes basically. I don't like how regularized those brush strokes are. I'm not a fan of that. I want to slightly make them irregular. Well, I'll do with a different brush like this. Well, I think can for me a better benefit. So very experimental. Trying to achieve like the same kind of surface quality. Because I don't usually paint things like this, right? So I want to have that kind of decay kind of look, so these foams will really pop, I feel like, once I add in some lines. Actually, how much time do I have left? I only have 5 minutes, that's unfortunate. I might extend this one. Ever so slightly. I feel like I can really make this pop with some line work. Do my best to finish in the time limit. So Steven, you've been here for a while as well. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by today. Did miss having you in my stream. And people aren't quite as brave with their racism as you, so I do miss that. I'm joking, of course. It's always good to see you. But your week went well. Cheap and smooth, huh? Aren't you currently in a relationship? Someone screenshot that. Hey Abs, you're good at screenshotting things. Like the texture you got there? Thank you. Not too bad. I think I spent too much time thinking about it though, which is really ruining my render. Spent a little bit too much time thinking about it. Hey Valto, do you know that meme? Because you're an expert in shit memes, right? You know that meme that goes, like the Sully meme? Give me a quick rating of that meme. I want to know your thoughts. Six out of 10? Fuck you. Way better than that. And then Julie stream on Thursday. You didn't even greet me, buddy. That's not true. I was talking to you. I was really busy that stream as well, but I was talking to you. You weren't reading my messages. You paid no attention? Nah. Now you're just playing it. Now you're just playing me for a fool right now. I'm not gonna fall for your bait. I'm sorry. Not happening, man. I'm not having it. I will not have it. What is the worst spot on the drawing for you? I don't have any particular hatreds, man. It's all equally bad to me. Like I don't fear anything really. But I come into paintings with a different approach than most people, you know, because if I get to fail, then I get to improve. So I don't have that same like failure version. I feel like a lot of people have. The one you enjoy the least, I mean. Does a GF watch Twitch too? Mine, I know mine does. So be careful. I gotta be careful when I greet, like, for example, when I greet like female streamers, because I'm usually very, I don't pull back, you know, if I think somebody's attractive or think I like their look or the attitude or whatever. Like, I don't pull back at all. So, why would I? Seems silly. But definitely don't want to overdo it, right? We're all disappointed about. Okay, now you can go fuck yourself. Now I know you're just straight trolling me. Definitely something to be aware of. But what do you mean though? There on like the worst parts of drawings in general? Yeah, me personally, I don't really fear anything too much. Just happy to be along for the journey. I feel like I got a fairly white belt attitude when it comes to art in general. I feel that saves me a lot of trouble. Otherwise, I might get too caught up in the nothingness. I mean, I'm not very good with human anatomy, but I feel like painting and rendering. Like rendering and painting, like muscles, you mean, or like what aspect of it? This is my dad's friend. See more, you'll have to scroll to the very bottom. He doesn't seem to post very often. Let me see. That's a painting. That's the actor from Shang Tsung, who played Shang Tsung. He's so good. What the fuck? Ballpoint, no shit. Don't say something stupid like comparing the cute streamer to your girlfriend. You should be fine. Okay, that takes a special brand of tar, let me tell you. But yeah, I think I'm good in that respect. I think I'm okay. Could you imagine though? That'd be hilarious. Hey, so you remember that one streamer, the one that's way hotter than you? Just pull it out of nowhere. Just hit him with it. Hit him with that gospel truth. I guess women, in general. I'm not, I mean, I love drawing women. It's all I've been doing for a very long time on this channel. But like, I'm not particularly good at it just because I haven't spent the time. Like, I've been really trying to spend the time right now, but overall in my life, I mean, I haven't spent that much time drawing women. We should boost with that perky? I'll take sentences that can get me killed for 500, Alex. A little bit I'll wash up on the side of some marina. Like half my dick chopped off. Yeah, perky breasts, that true? Pixar didn't happen. Notice me, senpai. You seen that Vine? I don't even know if it's a Vine, I have no idea. I call just short videos Vines now because I'm an idiot. But have you seen that Notice me, senpai? The one that James was quoting like 500 million times? It is scary how similar me and James are, by the way. Like when we both find a joke that we think is funny, we'll just drive that joke into the ground. I mean, you guys don't see that aspect of me because it doesn't happen on Twitch. But when me and James are on like voice, for example, like it is cancerously toxic. It is really, really bad. Like genuinely, like I fear for my future. Oh, the video he did when he was in the bookstore getting an incest manga? Jesus. Is Mar still here? He's 13. Wait, Mar? Who's Mar again? Oh, marijuana? Is he 19? He is 19, huh? There you go. See, I remember things about my stream. I'm not a fake. I ain't a faker. Running joke? I mean, is it like wishful thinking? Because if that's the case, then I'm gonna have to recommend you to certain agencies. Just treat him like a baby? Well, alright then. Carry on. 12, by the way. Haha, 13 May. 12, by the way. That by the way meme is not bad. That's one of the good ones. It's one of those like transition memes, you know? It gives you time to think about like more material. I'm not an expert in memeology though. I'm gonna have to ask Waltar about the specifics. I feel like he's I think he's taking the prize from Vital. I feel like I think Vital your shit's too tame. I feel like these days. Not because you have mod though. You're somewhat limited. You want to just get your mod off so you can just go crazy in my chat? Because I feel like he's taking your spot, my man. Like you're being dethroned here. Frankly, it hurts. I wish to see an old lion on its last legs. I'm being dethroned. I'm memed too much in the past. I need to repent. Having a mod means you can let loose without having to worry about getting banned. No, that's when I have mod. So that's what I do when I have a mod. I just say horrendous shit. Except in certain people, like when I mod for Bonnie or Kate or whatever, then I kind of keep it down. You gotta respect certain people. But when I'm on for like Bazaari, for instance, I don't change it at all. It'd be cool. Let's do an Aaron Griffin, Aaron Griffin technique for these waters, for these waters. Let's do an Aaron Griffin method for these blotters. Where we get a selection like that, and we chop it. We do that. The what's that called? When they chop things in front of you. Habanero? No, that's not right. What's that called? When the chef like makes stuff in front of you? I think habanero is like a pepper. You use selection tool so much? Well, you use traditional so much. Why don't you use digital like a real man? You see how stupid you sound? Foreplay? Hibachi, there you go. I wasn't far off. Habanero, hibachi, it's similar, right? I feel like those are comparable concepts. How about you? Itachi, fuck's sake. Alternating bands of dark and light. Rotating orbits. Have you guys seen the it's not the blueprints, what is it called? The bloopers. Fucking hell, I cannot speak. Have you guys seen the bloopers for the 18? That shit's so funny, man. That's crazy. Need more green on the scene. Maybe even some blue. I like blue there. Teppanyaki? What's teppanyaki? It sounds suitably foreign. Explain. I have a sharp brush for this, don't I? I do, indeed I do. Oh, that's neat. Crisscross. So, if anybody is interested in Dark Souls stuff, we actually did a community study a while ago. So if you scroll up or go to my Instagram, you'll be able to see some Dark Souls community studies. I think we drew Artorias, and we drew Solaire, and we drew one other person. I don't remember who it was. Might have been an Abyss Watcher. I don't remember. Should have drawn Ludwig back then. But maybe I was not as into Bloodborne. It's also known as hibachi? Oh, teppanyaki and hibachi are the same things? No kidding. More you know. I know such crazy specific things about certain like ideas. Like I know what omakase is. I think omakase means chef's menu, where like the chef kind of chooses what you eat. Like I know that from an Andy Milonakis video. Like Andy Milonakis did a video with like foodies or somebody about sushi. They talk about that concept in there. Andy Milonakis is a streamer and a rapper. He's a lot older than I thought he was. Set menu? Is that what it directly translates to? That would make sense. Ooh, let's not exceed our value range there. Set menu. Neat stuff. I trust you, the chef. There we go. Google, hell yeah. I'm in clutch again, Google. Being you. What would I do without a friend like you? So I extended from 30 to 45. I think I'll cut it at 45. But I think I did a decent job with this one. Wish my sharp brush was a bit more clear on my my brush picker, brush menu. Go get something to eat, man. Get some of that food. Okay, that makes up for some good eatings. Detect a little hint. A little bit more light here. More desaturation here. A little bit more. You know, I kind of laughed at this brush initially when I first saw it. I was like, where would I ever use that? And now I use it a lot in my pieces. This has a lot better of an edge, I feel like. A lot better control of the edge than a lot of other brushes that I use. But the stamp is just so ridiculous for this brush that I didn't take it seriously the first time I saw it. This is what the stamp looks like. Isn't that weird? I definitely want to get this furrow in if I can, the furrowed brow. There's a hint of light on top of there. There you go, really make that form read properly. I'm going to extend the shadow shape down here as well. I think there's a lack of resolution up there. I'm going to post yours. Oh, you did this one as well? Neat. Add a little bit of this yellow here. James is like 1. He's like 1 what? You're responding to something that I don't know. I don't really know what I said. Full sentence, let's go. Voice your concerns. You think I use one brush? Oh, the other James. It's not entirely true, but he does have brushes that he likes more than others. I mean, I think he's a big fan of the Voodoo Val brush set. And Val is a pretty versatile brush, so you don't need to go crazy with those brushes. I know that Pam's been experimenting with some new brushes as well. But you have to understand that I think James comes from a very intense like animation focused background, so it doesn't surprise me that he likes to take a very conservative with his brushes, and it really works for his style, I feel like. Super blocky style. At least 3. I imagine it's somewhere like that. To be perfectly honest, I haven't paid too much attention to his brush usage, more of his like approach to painting. I know his approach to painting a lot. That's still a lot. 3? Yeah, I mean, some people get by using just a couple of them. You'd be surprised. I mean, just because the brush is shaped a certain way doesn't mean it has to look a certain way. That's something that's been kind of clear to me from the quick sketching I've been doing, because a round brush can look hard, a hard brush can look round. I think it's all relative, right? I think some of us are used to painting with a ton of brushes. That's the kind of thing about texture, is that once you get into the deep end of texture, it's like it becomes just so extreme to a certain degree. Oh, you mean, alright, never mind. I'm stupid. That's my bad. I'll take the L on that one. I don't want to add this gradient in, you know? This top gradient. Darkness. Gotta add in that darkness, man. The L. Well, I hope this is acceptable. I don't remember who suggested this character in the chat, but I hope it's acceptable to you. I don't want people making suggestions and then thinking I kind of copped out at the end of it. I do try my best. Fortify, I'll take it. I'm gonna take that, you best believe that. Neat. Cool. I think definitely could use some airbrush. I want to look at canvases as well. I think canvas would do really well with this kind of reference. It looks like something you would draw a canvas. But yeah, I think I could use better use of like airbrush, for example, in certain areas. Kind of set in these tones. Just a little bit more depth could be maybe achieved in this drawing. My detail management is good. I think my detail management is always good though. And we'll get the technology to use actual brushes on tablets. I don't use airbrush. I think airbrush is a super underrated and powerful tool, because I feel like when you first start painting, you're like, oh shit, airbrush, and then you learn a little bit more about painting, and you're like, oh fuck, airbrush, ugh. And then you learn even more about painting, and you're like, oh wait, airbrush. It's pretty good. Holy fuck, Algernon. Look at Algernon's study, man. Holy fuck, that's so good. What are you doing, man? What are you doing sitting in chat? Sitting in chat just painting along. Look at you. This is Algernon's piece for the first one. Look how crazy. I love that the color choice, man. Like it's super covered in blood. That's awesome. The darks against the super bright against the dark. Dude, that's so cool. That's really nice. That's some solid fan art right there. That's awesome. I can definitely learn something from this. I'm gonna be looking at it later. But I think you really captured like that frenzy kind of effect, you know, because mine looks really controlled in comparison to yours. I mean, really nice. I can talk and paint at the same time. Fair enough. Don't worry about it. You did an awesome job. Super good job, Algernon. That's awesome. I'm super impressed by that. Because it's not like what I would like expect. It's not the type of piece that I expect from him. I mean, it's always high quality from you, but like, it has this whole other characteristic that I can't place why that's happening. But yeah, it's definitely you though, with that super high contrast. It looks fantastic. I think yours look control looks blurry. Yeah, I do paint very loosely. I should maybe have tightened out some of the values, but I just didn't have the time to do it. Like, just a little bit more edge detail over here would have been nice. Because I think the blurriness is really, it suits, like, for example, this arm. I love the way the arm is, but over here, not so much. Makes great contrast. The contrast is a thing, but you'll find that the blurriness comes from edge control, so I haven't really addressed any of the edges in my drawing. And by edges, I mean the way that you transition from one shape to another shape. It's very important. So that's what's creating that idea, because when I zoom out, I can actually make the edges seem a little bit artificially hard. And that's why, like, the zoomed out the thumbnail looks super sharp, but then zoomed in, not so much. Like it's dipped in chocolate. What even happened to my music? Give me a quick level check, by the way, on the music. Are you artificially hard? Only when I need to be. Those I was just focused on the face and upper torso for that piece. Yeah, but I disagree. It's completely up to the intention. And I really want to capture the entire piece with that one. Like, even though I did want to put in some work towards the surface texture, which I did in certain areas. Like, I really like the way that I navigated this area over here. I do like painting pieces as a whole. I feel like it benefits me more. Because it's not a focused control setting, right? It's just the entire thing. It depends. I think it's definitely a good thing to do. And I know that Vital and other people do it a lot of times. Jesus. What's happening? Missing the moon? How's it going? Good to see you. It's definitely a good suggestion, though. How's it going, guys? We're painting some Soulsborne things up. I've painted these two things so far on stream. Couple of monsters. Cat Emma, how's it going? How's it going, Moon? So good to have you in here. Once again. You guys don't feel like missing the moon? Awesome artist. Go check out the work. Please feel free to post whatever it is you're working on earlier today. you're more than welcome to share your work. And examples of things that I do. I do a bunch of streamer portraits. You might recognize a few faces here. There might be a few familiar faces in front of you. So I do portraits. Mostly I do studies though. These portraits are more of a test and application of the things that I learned throughout my proportion and value studies. So you see the proportion and values in these portraits are pretty strong. And that's because I directly try to apply the knowledge I gained into some sort of, practical setting, which turns out to be just drawing a bunch of my friends. Hey, no shit talking yourself on my stream. Leave that to me, I'll shit talk myself. Alright, let me show you how it's done. But yeah, post what you're working on if you're curious. Welcome, Emma, by the way. Thanks for coming in here with the raid. Alright, let's see what else you got for me. Oh, Algernon did the frog as well? You're spoiling me today, Algernon. The homie Janelle right there. I love the take on it, it's fantastic. Let me bring in canvases as well. I like the directions you guys went with it. Art is pretty much grinding anyway. Yeah, it's all a skill set, right? And skill sets demand a bit of grindiness. I feel like your efforts into composition and trying to like capture a lot of energy with the piece is really gonna, like, once your rendering skill catches up, I think it's gonna play a tremendous benefit in your pieces, because you're just trying to put in like so much energy and thought into the way you want the piece to look, that once everything else catches up, I feel like it's gonna be like you're gonna be far ahead of people with the same amount of time put in. So I really appreciate that about your pieces. And yeah, awesome fucking job with the rendering on this one. Alden, I love the simplistic approach to the palette. I think it's fantastic. Nice little foreshorten right there. Let me see this moon. So these are from members in the chat. I don't think either of them stream, but you are more than welcome to drop your social media in here. I think you've definitely earned the right. Oh, it's adorable, Moon. Our challenge Sunday was to draw someone dancing. That's so cute. Wonderful. And good to see you, by the way, Parky. I don't know if I said hi to you, but hello. How's it going, buddy? And welcome back, Shay. I don't get you in here too often. Did I say that I appreciate you? I do. Hope it's conveyed in some way, shape, or form. It was so fun. I'm glad you enjoyed yourselves. Yeah, Moon's a fun person to hang out with. Alright, it's 1 AM. I am tired as hell. I'm gonna sleep. Alright. Have a good night, Moon. Thank you so much for bringing your people over here. I'll be sure to take good care of them. Oh, my phone's about to die. It's a good thing I checked. So we did a couple of paintings today. There you go. Thank you, guys. We did a couple of paintings. I'm just gonna export this. And then we can call it a day, I think. I'm happy with the amount of stream. I'm sorry for dropping so many frames. I don't know really what's going on with my internet. I don't know if it's a Twitch thing. Most likely it's a combination of both to some degree. But I do apologize for the stream having those breaks in between, and I do appreciate you guys sticking with me through this. Hopefully issues get resolved on both ends quite quickly, but for now I think that's a pretty good stream to put in. I'm gonna end right now because I want to stream tomorrow morning when I wake up. So I'm gonna end today and get some sleep, and then I'll just stream first thing in the morning because I want to get some streaming. I was thinking about this extending today's stream, but then I have friends that are online right now that I kind of want to raid and things like that, so most likely we'll... April Fools? Oh, it is the 1st of April, my bad. Stop throwing those frames around. I'm sorry, alright, there's so many of them. How often do you stream? I stream every single day. I don't usually miss a stream. I think right now I'm on like a 28-day streak. I can check for you if you'd like. Because I paint every single day. So, and I have no real issue right now because I've kept trying to practice it, and right now I'm doing a fairly good job at it, but I'm kind of okay with the whole talking while streaming aspect of it. It's just that the reading chat while streaming I'm trying to get better at, so You see that I very seldom stop painting, and I very seldom stop talking, so I'm getting better at those two things. I just want to get better at reading chat. I wish there was a way for me to do it easier than I do it right now, because right now I had to look at my phone to look at chat, because I don't have a second screen. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? Yeah, and if you guys can stick around for just a couple more moments... Yeah, I've streamed 29 days in the last 30 days. If you guys can stick around for just a couple more moments, I want to raid somebody. So if you can raid a person along with me, and perhaps even drop them a follow if at all possible, that's great. It really supports creative artists, helps us get the name out there, especially for people that have a full-time job on Twitch doing art. It is not an easy task, so if you guys could just stick around for just a couple seconds, just trying to figure out who I want to raid here. I want to raid somebody doing art. That's just how we do. Could do your girl Shelly, Dizukawa, Eskimo. I want to raid Pam, honestly. I do want to raid Pam. Oh, Den and Catfish though. Thank you for the stream. Like really seeing and hearing your art approach. I really appreciate Algernon, and yeah, I feel like among the people here, I think I've known you. I know and you number in one of the one of my oldest friends on this platform, so I do appreciate you stopping by and still painting with me after all this time. Must have quite the reserve of patience to withstand this. Let's raid Eskimo Girl, how about that? Eskimo always posts in my Discord about going live, and I appreciate him. Let's do that. Bamf is on, isn't he? Bamf is on. Yeah, yeah, let's raid Bamf instead. Bamf is super underrated, I feel like. Let's raid him instead. You're right. Good call. Bamf art, have I spent it right? I think it's just Bam and then fart, right? There we go, guys. As always, I really appreciate you sticking around with me. You guys are absolutely insane. Always blow me away with your support and all of your adoration, and for just putting up with me, man. I appreciate that. So yeah, definitely say a big old hello to Bamf. If you're not following him, follow him. He does fantastic work. It's on my Discord, it's on his Discord if he has one, I'm not sure about that. But thank you for stopping by. Thank you for spending your weekend with me. I really appreciate that. Have a great start to the next week, and I will see you tomorrow morning for another stream. Have a good one. Cheers.